So you might have followed one of these tutorials on how to make text scroll using a scroll view. But when you try to do that using a Text Mesh Pro input field, it couldn't scroll. It won't scroll at all. And I actually figured out why, and I'm gonna explain to you why and how to fix this in this video. So let's get started. Okay, so first I'm gonna show you what they do first, as you should expect. So you would usually follow the tutorial and it will tell you add a scroll view. Inside content, you would add component, and then you would add like TMP text, right? Oh, and then you would add the text, Text Mesh Pro text and stuff. You would add your text here, blah blah blah, and you would get a scrollable thing. Okay, and we should put the scroll sensitivity on at a high number because it's very slow. And then you would try after doing that, and look at this. Oh, well okay. Then you would try afterwards, and it will scroll with your content, right? When you follow these tutorials. Okay, so and then you would try to do the same. Okay, then if it works with text, why won't it? Then I can use it with the input field like I've wanted. So we go ahead and put the input field. Okay. And then you would also go ahead and put a layout element, preferred widths and preferred height. Oh, sorry. So when you add the content size fitter, it doesn't absolutely shrink to into a very small size that's not usable. Make it preferred size. And then you would try, right? All right, then let's see it. Oh yeah, also I forgot, you would also make it into multi-line, new line, right? So you can click enter and have multiple lines. All right, then let's use it then. Okay, so you try to use it, right? A lot of text here. Ooh, it got really big, and I actually forgot to link it. So you actually would take your input field here that grows and put it into the content section. And now, all right, it should be scrollable, right? Wait a minute, what? Do you hear that? It won't scroll. Wait, why does it only scroll here then? Well, here's the reason why. If you go into scene, you'll realize it doesn't scroll where your Text Mesh Pro is covering. The area your Text Mesh Pro is covering is not scrollable. But this is outside of it. That's why it can scroll. Wait, why? Why is this like this? Why won't this work? Here's the thing, okay? I'll show you why. Let's actually learn what Text Mesh Pro does. Text Mesh Pro input field has its own scroll view of its own, inside its own code. I actually checked the code, and it has code for its own scroll view. And the problem is, this scroll view basically covers up the scroll view of the scroll view. Lol. And yeah. But there's a very easy fix. The fix is to change the code of Text Mesh Pro so it cannot receive input. The problem is, Text Mesh Pro will steal your input data, your event data, by this event system here for the clicks on your UI, and will not let it go through to the scroll view that's underneath, because we have to always put this in the front. You can't just put it behind it or else it breaks. Behind it or else it breaks. It won't scroll. You put it in front of it, right? Okay then, let's fix it then. We need to make it so Text Mesh Pro cannot steal the input data and stop it from getting to what's behind it. If you go into Text Mesh Pro's code, you can actually edit it. So, and it's a very fast fix. Okay, so at first I actually went through the entire code and tried to remove every single line of code that's responsible for scrolling. But in reality, these are what give it its event data. These event handlers. These are where it gets its input. So if it has one of these present, it will give it the ability to take that click input or whatever input it is. And it taking this input from this event thingy stops the input from going to the scroll view behind it. And yeah, so the fastest way to fix this is to literally just comment out iScrollHandler, and remember to comment out this little comma. Now, if you click and save, and test, let's check it out. Very easy fix. It doesn't break anything. But you need to know that you cannot use, obviously, Text Mesh Pro scroll view, right? So let's go ahead and make it a bit long. And again, I forgot to put this here into the content section. What is this? Do you see what we just did? It scrolls now, and doesn't that prove it to you? By simply removing the scroll handler here from the event handler thingies, we fixed it. We stopped Text Mesh Pro from intervening with our scroll view, and it's such an easy fix. It's just one line of code. Yeah, that's it. But you need to make sure if you ever update Text Mesh Pro, this code will probably be overwritten again. So just go there and then just comment out this code. Go there and comment it out again if you ever update Text Mesh Pro. And yeah, that's it. You simply fixed it. Really. And that's it. Enjoy. And what's better is also it can also go sideways. Look at this, and you can scroll too. Isn't that lovely? Playing around with this rect selection thing, rect transform selection stuff, will make it so it behaves differently when more stuff is entered and stuff. So you can do that. But yeah, that's it. This is literally the real fix. And I hope I helped you. I suffered a ton when I first didn't know about this. I was like, why won't it work? I'm doing everything in the tutorial. I re-watched the tutorial 100 times, making sure I get everything right. It was really, really, really painful. And actually, how I realized this was, I actually realized that when you switch from standard line type from single line to multi-line, it breaks. Yeah. It basically has its own scroll view. And I was like, whoa. Then to fix this, all I need to do is remove the scroll view code. But then I was editing the code one time, and I was trying to remove everything related to the scroll view. And I saw this iScrollHandler, and I was like, obviously I'll remove this too. And then when I tested it, I was like, wait, simply just removing this iScrollHandler literally fixed it. Like, it did what I wanted without me having to tinker all around. 4,000 plus lines of code. I actually did this before. I scrolled through the whole thing, changing every single, deleting every single scroll code related to scrolling. But it didn't work. Things broke, and it was pain. But I'm so glad I found this. Okay, then.